Do this and he'll text you tonight. Instead of staring at your phone or crafting the perfect message, I want you to do something different, something most people are too scared to do. Do something that makes you feel alive, not for his attention, but because you deserve your own. Post that story where you look amazing. Go out with your friends, laugh, be so undeniably magnetic that he feels the shift. He'll notice, he'll feel the difference. Why? Because people don't miss those who wait around. They miss those who move. When you show him you're not waiting, he'll start wondering what and who is grabbing your attention instead. That curiosity is what triggers the text, but remember this, the goal isn't just to get a text. It's to attract someone who sees your value without needing a reminder. And when you live like that, he won't just text you tonight, he'll keep texting. There's a moment in almost every woman's dating life when she wonders, should I reach out again? Should I double text? Should I remind him I'm still here? And in that moment, it feels like the only way to get a response is to lean in harder, to make it easier for him, to show more interest, to chase just a little bit more. But here's the truth, the more you chase, the less he feels the need to pursue. Chasing puts you in a position where you're seeking validation instead of offering value. It's like handing over the pen and asking someone else to write the story, your story. That's not where attraction lives. Attraction isn't built by pushing, convincing, or persuading. It's built in the energy of confidence, presence, and choice. It's built when you know you have options and you act like it, not out of arrogance, but out of truth. When you chase, even subtly, you send a silent message, you're the prize and I'm hoping to be chosen. But when you attract, you send a very different message. I know what I bring to the table, and I'm not afraid to eat alone if you don't see it. That shift in mindset is powerful. It creates space, and in that space he starts to notice what's missing you. Men, like anyone, are more drawn to people who move with purpose. When he sees that your happiness isn't dependent on his attention, that you're not anxiously waiting for the text, the call, the plan, it changes everything. You go from someone he might connect with when it's convenient to someone he doesn't want to risk losing track of. That's the difference between being accessible and being desirable. Attraction grows when there's a little mystery, a little space, and a whole lot of self-assurance. When you stop chasing, you naturally start to focus more on your own life. You become more grounded in your standards. You say no more easily to crumbs and yes to the kind of attention that matches your energy. And ironically, it's in not needing him to text that he starts wanting to. So if you're tempted to break the silence or prove your interest one more time, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this because I feel secure and expressive, or because I'm scared of being forgotten? If it's the latter, step back, go live, reclaim that energy, and trust that the right person won't need you to chase them. They'll be too busy trying to catch up with you. There's something magnetic about a person who moves through life with momentum. You can feel it when they walk into a room, post on social media, or talk about their day. It's not what they're wearing or how loud they are. It's the energy they bring. And in dating, energy is everything. The energy you carry when you're interacting with someone, or even when you're not, can be the difference between feeling like an option and becoming a priority. When things feel uncertain with someone, when he's being hot and cold, slow to reply, or giving mixed signals, it's easy to fall into the trap of matching his energy. You slow down your pace, you get cautious, you start holding back just to not do too much, but that kind of passive waiting game drains your power. Instead of adjusting to his energy, what if you shifted your own? Shifting the energy means turning the focus back inward. It means asking yourself, what would I be doing tonight if I wasn't thinking about him? And actually doing it. Whether that's spending time with people who light you up, working on a passion project, getting dressed up and taking yourself out. It's about moving your energy toward things that feed you. Confidence and joy, not because you're trying to make him jealous, but because that's where your power lives. People are drawn to motion. We're naturally intrigued by those who are busy living, growing, creating, and laughing. When you show that your life is full, not performatively, but genuinely, it shifts the entire dynamic. You're no longer someone waiting for a text. You're someone who's actively shaping their day, their mood, their experience. And that's incredibly attractive. When you shift your energy, you also take emotional pressure off the situation. Instead of mentally tracking how long it's been since he texted or analyzing every word of the last conversation, you recenter yourself. That doesn't mean you're pretending not to care. It means you're choosing not to dwell. That's a powerful distinction. You can want the connection, but you don't need it to feel okay in the meantime. And here's the part people don't talk about enough. When your energy shifts, people feel it even if you're not in direct contact. That sudden change in pace, that subtle withdrawal, that glow in your photos or the joy in your voice when you talk to mutual friends, it creates a ripple. It causes the other person to pause and wonder what's going on with her. That curiosity creates space for attraction to grow, not from pressure, but from presence. So instead of adjusting to someone else's uncertain energy, reclaim yours. Let your actions and attention reflect your value, not your fear. Move first emotionally, mentally, and energetically, and let the world respond to that. There's a difference between being attractive and being seen as attractive. You can have all the qualities someone is looking for: confidence, kindness, humor, depth. But if those qualities aren't visible, especially early on, they don't register. Being visibly magnetic is about more than just physical appearance. It's about showing up in ways that let the world see who you are and feel drawn to it without you having to say a word. Too often, people hide their light while hoping someone will come along and notice it anyway. They dim themselves down, stay quiet, or hold back because they're afraid of being too much or trying too hard. But the truth is, the right energy isn't loud, it's undeniable. And to be undeniable, you have to let yourself be seen. When someone is intrigued by you, maybe after a date or a conversation, they'll often go quiet, not necessarily because they're not interested, but because they're observing. They're watching how you move, what you post, how you carry yourself when they're not around. Are you waiting? Are you unsure of your worth? Or are you glowing regardless of their attention? That's where visible magnetism matters. It's the way you walk into a space, the way your photos reflect your vibe, the way your friends light up when you talk. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present in your own life. If you want him to think about you, notice you, and feel compelled to reach out, you don't need to chase, you need to shine. Post that story where you feel good about yourself. Share that moment where you laughed uncontrollably with friends. Wear that outfit that makes you feel powerful, even if it's just to get coffee. These moments aren't about proving anything. They're about expressing who you are and what makes you vibrant. Being visibly magnetic is also about alignment. When your inner confidence matches your outer expression, people feel that. They feel that you're not trying to be liked, you already like yourself. That's what makes people want to be around you. That's what makes them text you late at night wondering, what is she doing right now? It's not about playing hard to get. It's about living in such a way that makes people want to get closer. Visibility doesn't mean overexposure. You don't have to reveal everything to be magnetic. In fact, a little mystery makes things more interesting. But let the glimpses of your life reflect the truth. You're someone who brings something real to the table, someone who's engaged with the world, someone who's not waiting in the wings. That subtle but consistent confidence speaks louder than any perfectly worded message ever could. One of the most overlooked elements in attraction is curiosity. Not manipulation, not game, playing real organic curiosity. It's what keeps someone thinking about you after the conversation ends. It's what makes them open your message first, check your stories, and wonder what you're doing when you're not around. Curiosity is powerful because it creates a pull, a subtle tension that draws someone in without you having to chase or convince. And the secret to creating curiosity, it's doing less than you think and being more than you show. When you're overly available, overly eager, or constantly trying to define where things stand, you kill that curiosity. It's not because you're doing anything wrong, but because pressure repels where mystery attracts. Pressure is when you try to control the timeline, the outcome, or the other person's feelings. It might sound like, "Why haven't you texted me back?" Or "Where is this going?" Too early. Those are real questions and they matter, but if you ask them from a place of insecurity instead of calm self-worth, they land as pressure, not clarity. Curiosity, on the other hand, is built through space, unpredictability, and self-possession. It's about letting someone wonder what you're doing, not because you're hiding anything, but because your life is full enough that you don't feel the need to narrate every detail. You go out, you engage in hobbies, you light up around friends, you take care of yourself. When your life has richness and rhythm, people can feel that even in your silence. They start to ask themselves, what is she up to? Who is she talking to? Why does she feel so light, so free, so unfazed? That's where the tension comes in, the good kind, the kind that sparks desire. If you're always answering right away, always initiating, always giving, there's no question mark. There's no space for him to lean in. It's in that space when he's wondering what you're thinking, if you're still thinking about him, that his interest has a chance to deepen. He has to step forward because he doesn't feel your energy chasing him down. This doesn't mean playing cold or detached. In fact, warmth is essential, but warmth with boundaries, that's magnetic. That's when you're kind and present when you engage, but you don't need to overextend or overexplain. You trust that what's meant to come toward you will, and in the meantime, you leave just enough room for him to feel that little tug of mystery. Not confusion, but curiosity. You're not hiding. You're simply choosing to hold something back, not out of fear, but because you know your worth doesn't need to be proven in full on day one. When someone senses that there's more to discover, more depth, more layers, they're far more likely to come closer, not drift away. Let them come to you, not because you disappeared, but because you stayed rooted in your life, and they realized how much they want to be part of it. It's easy to get caught up in the moment, the excitement of a first connection, the rush of chemistry, the anticipation of a message. And when you're drawn to someone, it's natural to want things to move forward quickly. You want signs. You want clarity. You want to feel chosen. But here's the thing. The real power lies in how you set the tone, not just for the next text, but for the kind of connection you're willing to accept from the very beginning. Setting the tone means showing someone through your actions, not your words, how to treat you. It's about making it clear from the first interaction that your time, your attention, and your energy are valuable. That doesn't mean being distant or difficult. It means being intentional. It means showing that you're not just looking for attention, you're looking for alignment. You're not waiting to be picked. You're observing whether this person fits into the life you're already building. So often, people rush into trying to keep someone's interest, thinking that if they give more, respond faster, or prove their value, the other person will realize how great they are. But when you lead with proving, you invite someone to take without earning. Instead, let the pace of the connection reflect your standards. If someone texts inconsistently or only late at night, you don't have to call them out immediately, you just don't reward it. You reply when it works for you, not when it feels like you're trying to secure their attention. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. When you carry yourself with quiet confidence and firm boundaries, you naturally filter out the ones who aren't serious, not by pushing them away, but by requiring them to rise to your level. That's how you set the tone for lasting value. Because when someone sees that you won't be impressed by bare minimum effort, they either step up or step out. And either outcome is a win. Attraction might be instant, but respect is built. The way you engage in those early days, how much access you give, how quickly you respond, how much of yourself you share, it all sets a precedent. And the right person will recognize your value not because you constantly highlight it, but because you carry it. You become memorable not by doing the most, but by being the one who doesn't settle for less. When you hold your standard, even when it's tempting to lower it for short-term validation, you build something stronger than chemistry, you build consistency. You send a message without needing to say a word. I'm not here for games. I know what I bring. If you see it too, step in with intention. A message might get you a reply, but your presence, your tone, your energy, your boundaries is what creates a connection that actually lasts. The kind where the texts keep coming, not because you asked for them, but because someone genuinely doesn't want to lose the chance to know you. Thank you.